Episode 3 of The Hunting Party begins in Billings, Montana. A guy was watching to a woman in the store. When she left the store, the guy thinks to talk with her. This woman hitchhikes, looking for a camping site several miles north. The guy who gives her a lift is pretty shifty, though, as he's also headed towards the same way. On the way, Jacob has Sonny ask to Bex about the relation between Bex and Odell. Bex said, "What do you mean?" Has Sonny asked her that has he told anything about the blast? She replied no. Has Sonny told her that Odell knows everything about the blast? Bex said, "I don't believe, what are you talking about?" Has Sonny said, "I'm not saying that he's the mastermind of that blast, but he can cross the line." At the airbase, Bex is called in for a meeting with Oliver Odell. He throws shades of doubt over Hassani's credibility. Odell goes on to mention how her colleague is the type of guy brought in to clear up problems. Whether Jacob has any involvement with the blast or is part of this big data scoop, however, is still unclear. For now, though, we're on to our next case of the week. During their journey, the guy asked her name. She told him, "I am Brenda." Then guy said, "I am Earl." And we are moving toward the beautiful view to see the little slice of heaven. She's extremely unpredictable and was initially convinced for the murders of 17 people. The guy said to her that this is the best place to hunt the deer. Brenda said okay, and then attack on him by knife. The police believe there were actually more than 17 dead bodies, but they were never found. The world have been led to believe, though, that Brenda died back in 2015, but this is when the gang at the pit got her. As a result, Bex and the others hop on the jet over to Montana. But on the way they watch video of her interview, she told the police that my wolves like to start with chest, lungs, and heart, because human muscles are hard to chew. They eat and kill them to protect themselves from the world, because world wants to kill them. She asked the officer that why the hunters are allowed to kill and eat animal, but animals are not allowed to kill and eat hunter. Officers replied to her, "You also killed hikers, not only hunters." She said it's glorious to see him in pain. By watching this video, Bex said she's fascinating. Brenda grew up with wealth, but when her parents died, she became something of a social recluse. She bought a whole load of land out in Montana with her inheritance money, intent on rehabilitating the gray wolf population. Unfortunately, the longer she stayed out in the wilds, the more unstable she became. Bex told them that Brenda wrote many letters to her defense lawyer. Brenda believes humanity is a cancer and should be eradicated, which explains why she's killed so quickly. The gang was informed the death of Earl near Montana, which was killed by the Brenda, as we have shown you in the start of that episode. The gang immediately head to the campsite, where they find the man's bloodied body on the floor. Shane investigate the footsteps. He said to them footsteps shows that she's not in a hurry after to kill him. Bex said she is not protecting her land, and wolves then why she's doing that. Given this doesn't fit Brenda's usual MO, beyond the eradicating humanity part, Bex phones through to HQ to find out what's happening. Turns out they've got a ping on Brenda's location. She's used a payphone 30 miles away from their current location, where she's rung someone called Ron Goodman. When the gang arrived and asked about the call which he received, he said it appears to be a wrong number. She's definitely not here to see this football player, but it doesn't take long for Brenda to kill again. Bex and Shane received a video where they saw the Brandy, which was dialing a phone. They thought that she was thinking the last digits. That's why she dialed wrong number. Bex was informed by the base that we have received a phone number which belongs to the Brenda's lawyer. Her land has been sold off by her lawyer, William, which only rattles her further. She used to write to him every week, and she alludes to the fact this is the only thing that managed to keep her going while stuck behind bars. And that's why she was calling him. Bex thinks that she has going home. On the other hand, Odell thinks that if she went to see her land, then we've got a problem. This land does not just get sold off, but it was bought by the developer. It's McMansion's now. Brenda notices one of the officers, a random Montanan guy, reach for his gun and hunt a deer. Immediately, Brenda comes over there and attack on him by knife. She said, "These are mine woods." The man called to the base to report them. The man is still alive, but his captain is chewed out, encouraged to stand down as rangers and let the experts handle this. Of course, having this perfect facade ripped away is not something they ever banked on, given these inmates were supposed to remain locked up. However, It does mean that Brenda is even more volatile than she was before. Well, she eventually finds a group of kids out in the woods and holds them up at gunpoint. As the gang reached the location, they found the dead body of the hunter on the open area of grassy land. Shane came and told them the detail about the hunter, that how he was killed by Brenda near the dead body of deer. When they were discussing the whole incident, Brenda called the coop from the hidden place from where she can easily watch out them. Bex introduced herself that I'm from Special Agent, and we are here to make sure no one else be killed further. Brenda said, "What about my land?" Bex replied, "Your land is sold out." Brenda said, "But my lawyer wrote me many letters, and he mentioned there that my land is safe. You're all telling a lie." Bex said, "You're making mix-up." Then Brenda becomes angry and shoot the park ranger. And Brenda ran away. Bex speaks to Oliver back at the pit to find out what he hasn't told them about Brenda. Here, Attorney General told to Bex the whole story, and it turns out Brenda was actually part of the regimented behavioral program called the Eden Protocol. "We told her that her land is safe." Bex said, "It mean you told a lie with her about the safety of her land." Then Attorney General replied, "You're here because of my order, so you should understand your status now and remember to whom you're talking with." The forest officer told them, "We had a break-in at 1R station. Sound to me like you're fugitive." When they reached the station, they found that Brenda came here and did some search on their tracking. Officer told them that she found some tags which we inject into the animals to track them in that land. And she found some old tags which we are not using now. Then Bex asked him that these tags are related to which type of animal. Officer told them that it's about the wolves. Then Officer told them that she's going toward the graveyard of wolves. Bex ordered him to evacuate the whole place, because if she didn't find her wolves, then she'll be very dangerous than before. Brenda was already reached there and didn't find anything. Brenda was so aggressive and becomes more worse now. Then she moves toward the Spire Rock campground. During evening time, some people were gathered there for picnic party. Then Park Ranger came here to evacuate the place on urgent basis. Suddenly Brenda attacked on him by knife on her back and killed him. On the base, they received a video where a person was speaking that Park Ranger is killed. Then Odell rings the Bex to reach the Spire Rock campground. They reached and start their struggle to find them. They divide themselves in groups. Finally, Bex found Brenda and ordered her to put down the gun. "Let them go." Brenda said, "No. You should lower your gun, otherwise I will these two put down, just like those bastards who put down my wolves." Then Bex said, "I'll put down my gun if you let them go. And I'll told you about who has killed your wolves." Then Brenda becomes agreed. Then Bex tried to waste her time and told Brenda that you purchased this land to kill the people freely, and you used the wolves as a play card. Only one person killed your wolves, that's you, Brenda, because you didn't care of them. And then Bex shoot her. They started fight, but finally Shane and Hassani reached there and caught their target. When they make it back home, Bex speaks to Hassani out at the local bar. Earlier, Bex noticed that Hassani has footage of Odell on his tablet and calls him out for it here. Hassani is particularly troubled by a 2-year blackout for Odell, which occurred prior to him working at the pit. There's just no record of him anywhere. Bex chalks it up to rehab and getting away from the killing. However, Hassani has another theory. He shows off the footage from the pit 3 minutes before the blast. Here, Odell very clearly transfers files to his flash drive after receiving a call from a burner phone with an encrypted SIM. Bex refuses to believe he's involved in all of this, but the evidence paints another picture. Odell could well be compromised, but there are higher powers at work here. We do see some of it that night, as we cut across to Oliver Odell himself, who sits in a car and reluctantly hands over the flash drive to a mysterious woman. Subscribe this channel for web series recap.